So in recent days, Donald Trump has delivered some pretty strong words for Panama, specifically relating to his Panama Canal. He did this on X and on some interviews, specifically with Tucker. I'm going to show you a portion of that. But what can the United States really do about this? Can Donald Trump actually take back control of the Panama Canal or somehow strong-arm Panama into a better agreement for the United States of America? And what about China? Because the fact of the matter is this is not a money issue. In 2017, they were the first Latin American country to join China's Belt and Road Initiative, which gave China control over a number of different ports on both sides of the Panama Canal. And in 2017, they made official declaration that Taiwan is in fact China. So Donald Trump does have legitimate issue with Panama right now, in particular because in 1903, the United States took on the burden of constructing the Panama Canal at a massive cost, not only monetarily, but in the cost of lives as well. And so when Donald Trump posts this on X, and I'm not going to read through it, I'll leave the link for you in the description below, he has a legitimate issue with what Panama is doing. But what can Donald Trump actually do about this? And I think that there is a genius idea that Trump could possibly do. And I hope when he's talking to his advisors, some of them are giving him this idea. Now, this isn't a perfect solution by any means, but I'm going to tell you why I think this would be a good direction for the United States of America to go. But before I do, I want to show you what Donald Trump said to Tucker Carlson about this very issue.
Why is China allowed to conduct imperialism in our hemisphere?
Well, yeah, and it's far beyond Cuba. It's all over South America.
Yeah, in the Caribbean.
So we built a thing called the Panama Canal. We lost 35,000 people to the mosquito, malaria.
Yeah.
We lost 35,000 people building. We lost 35,000 people because of the mosquito. Vicious. They had to build under nets. But this is one of the true 7 wonders of the world. And you take a look at the Panama Canal. It was such an incredible engineering marvel. We sold it under Jimmy Carter. We sold it to Panama for $1. The following day, they quadrupled the amount of money that ships had to pay to get across. They didn't lose one ship. And now they've made it much bigger, and now they've widened it. They've doubled it, right? They've more than doubled it. And it's one of the most profitable things. Any time it's just incredible, right? We gave it away for $1. China now controls it. They actually control the Panama Canal. They run it, they control it. And we shouldn't let that happen. And we can't let China be in Cuba. And they'll get out. If I'm president, they'll get out. Because I had a very good relationship with President Xi, but he respected this country, he respected me. And he'll get out. And we can't let them run the Panama Canal. We built the Panama Canal. Should have never been given to Panama. We should have had it.
So there's a lot of truth to what he's saying here. Now, China doesn't directly control the Panama Canal, but they have control over harbors on both sides of the Panama Canal. And like I've said before, they have cozied up with the government of Panama in the last decade or so. And this is sort of uncomfortable for the United States of America because at any point they can utilize this to their advantage. Now, Donald Trump has a number of things that he can do. Number one, we don't really charge Panama any tariffs at all, I think, on any of the goods that come in. It's basically duty-free. We can, of course, start raising tariffs on Panama. This is something that we could do to sort of strong arm and get them to sort of recognize our interests in that area. But I think an idea that might be even smarter, however, it's going to cost a lot of money, but it is money that we can get back. And I think that we can do this in an agreement, and it would be with Mexico, to create another canal that the United States would have full control over in perpetuity into the future. Now, China did try to do something like this with Nicaragua, and it failed. Nicaragua does have an area. They have a lake there where you can build a canal across their land, and they were working for a long time to try to get this into action, but there's a lot of instability there politically, environmentally, and it just did not go through. And this is one of the reasons why China has really focused in on Panama rather than building their own canal, say, in Nicaragua. But I would forget Nicaragua. We just don't have good relationships with them. Their politicians are corrupt. We've never really gotten along with them, and I would not be comfortable going that direction. However, we generally do get along very well with Mexico. Now, yes, we have some border issues that need to be taken care of, but I think that our political leaders can make a really good deal together. And at the Isthmus of Mexico, there's about a 200-kilometer region there where the United States of America could, in fact, construct a new canal connecting the Atlantic, which would be really the Gulf of Mexico area, to the Pacific. And this would have a number of benefits over the Panama Canal. Obviously, it's much closer to the continental United States of America, and we have much better technology now. We can widen it out, and we could just make it really, really well. This, of course, would cost a lot of money. We're talking about $100 billion, possibly $200 billion to construct something like this. However, keep in mind that this is money that we can get back in the future. Of course, we would have to split the profits with Mexico, but as ships are using that, private ships or different countries' ships are using that, we could then split the cost, and over time, we would recoup that money. In addition, we would make an agreement with Mexico that we would always, into the future, have full and absolute shared control with Mexico, and at no point ever would that control be given up by anyone. It would be written into the agreement. Mexico would have to agree to it. Now, you would ask, well, why would Mexico agree to that? Well, this would give Mexico a number of advantages as well, having a canal right through their region there. And, of course, they would make a lot of money with this. We could also coincide this sort of an agreement with a border agreement as well. This could bring our two countries much closer together. And a real big reason to do this is because we have some disadvantage right now with how close Panama and China are with each other. And again, if at any moment Panama and China decide to stick it to the United States of America and not allow our military ships through that canal, that could be a really big problem. And that is not something that the United States should be worried about facing into the future. We really need to make sure that we have a solution for that, and a solution for that now. And it's a good thing that Donald Trump is bringing this up, because although we cannot take control back the Panama Canal, it's just no way. We've already signed a treaty. We've already given it over. It's not possible. We can use some diplomatic and strong-arm techniques to try to get more control over, or to try to stop them from giving China as much control, or we could go even further than that and begin to create another canal. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Leave your comments below. I do think Donald Trump is right in having vision and looking to the future in this, because what most presidents would do is they would wait until a disaster happens and we lose absolute and full control of that area or use of that area, rather than thinking ahead. And so I think that's what he's doing right now. He's thinking ahead, and I'm interested to see what decisions he's going to make on this in the future. But leave your comments below. What do you all think about this? I'd love to read about it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.